Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. The People's Democratic Party, which has played opposition to the ruling All Progressives Congress party in Nigeria in the past 4 years, is going through something like a mini crisis in the aftermath of its recent loss of control of both houses of parliament. Having maintained a stranglehold on the legislature for 16 years, there are visible signs of stress, such as last week's free-for-all on the floor of the House of Representatives among its lawmakers, which has now led to a faction of the party suspending newly elected minority leader Ndidi Elumelu and 5 others. We are now being joined by Kola Ologbondiyan, the PDP National Publicity Secretary, to talk more about this unraveling situation, as well as why the party has not rendered its post-2019 election accounts, among other issues affecting the welfare of the party. Kola Ologbondiyan, welcome to the morning show. It's good to have you here.
Good morning. Good morning, Dr. Ruben Abati.
Good morning. Well, I don't know where to begin. There's so much to talk about, you know, the PDP national politics. So we'll just enter this conversation at a convenient point, but I would like to assure you that just be prepared. We'll get to as many of the issues as possible. But let's start with this issue about campaign finance.
I think we should start.
Oh, you want to take charge of the interview?
By congratulating our No, I'm not. But I think we should start by congratulating our indefatigable governor of Delta State, Governor Okowa, who turned 60 today. So you can take it up from there.
Okay.
That's precisely what I said. That you wanted to hijack the interview right from the beginning. Okay, congratulations to Governor Okowa. But maybe we'll send you an invoice for that promotion.
I think that's a good idea, Dr. Abati.
You should get an invoice for that promotion on the Arise News channel. But let's start with, you know, the issue between the PDP and INEC, the Independent National Electoral Commission, on, you know, campaign finance. INEC says, according to its rules, Section 92, subsection 3, you know, of the Electoral Act, as it were, that parties are supposed to make returns after 3 months after the election. But you responded. You said the election is not over yet until the Supreme Court decides. Then, you know, INEC also says audited reports of campaign financing must come in 6 months after the election, where you still have a window of opportunity there. But, you know, you issued a statement saying, well, INEC cannot ask for statement of expenditures and donations right now because, you know, there is a case in the Supreme Court. You know, is the PDP in a position to dictate to INEC in terms of what the law says about campaign finance?
I do not think this issue is between the People's Democratic Party and Independent National Electoral Commission. I don't want to believe that. What the chairman of INEC, Professor Yakubu, said was that only one party has given account on its election, and he did not even mention the name of that party. However, we are not engaging INEC because we are already preparing our account in our own party. And we'll submit the account as soon as it is ready. So I don't want to take it as if it's an issue between us and the INEC.
No, what the INEC chairman said, if I may recall, you know, there are 2 categories of reports under the campaign finance legislation. First, the 3 months, where you state donations, you state expenditures. Then 6 months under Section 93 of the Electoral Act, where you make returns in terms of audited accounts. And he said, even though the time has not really expired, at least one party in that regard has, you know, reported back to INEC. But that in the first category, no party has done so. And it was that first part you were reacting to say that, look, you know, the Supreme Court matter, the tribunal matters have to be determined. There's no connection. Is there?
Well, Doctor, like I said earlier, our own party is preparing its accounts. And as soon as it is ready, it will be returned to INEC. I don't think it's an issue between our party and INEC. I don't think so. Because PDP is not the only party that ran in the election. Except INEC is saying that it has issues with PDP, I don't think that it should be an issue that we should be contending over. Once our account is ready, we'll lay it before INEC.
It would just be great to see the accounts coming in on time, given the time length that is given of 3 months for these to be published. But moving away from that for a second to look into the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal, what do you think the outcome of this is going to be? Currently, the PDP have a couple more days to gather 400 witnesses. Do you think the party can get 400 credible witnesses? What are things currently looking like, sir?
We should not go into issues that are sub judice on this platform. So as such, I think we should leave the issue before the tribunal to handle while we go into political matters.
No, well, I mean, maybe I can add a footnote to that. Are you still optimistic that at the end of the day, your party will be able to win at the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal, or maybe perhaps at the Supreme Court? In the light of what you have just seen with the case in Osun State. And what's the reaction of the PDP to the outcome of the Supreme Court, to the Supreme Court decision in the Osun gubernatorial case, where the matter was determined on the grounds of technicalities?
We remain optimistic that the judicial system will take into account the evidences that our party and our candidate, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, will provide before it. And as such, we are very confident as a political party, and I believe our candidate is also very confident that we will win the matter. But going into the Osun issue, our party has already expressed shock at the outcome of the Supreme Court decision on the Osun election. And we also emphasize the fact that for the PDP, we are glad at one thing. The Supreme Court did not go into the issue of who won the election because the people of Osun State voted for Senator Ademola Adeleke. Rather, the Supreme Court went into the area of technicalities about a particular judge who did not participate, who did not participate in the hearing of a witness on a particular day, not going into what the issues are. So as such, the Supreme Court never said that Adeleke didn't win the election. What the Supreme Court said was that a particular judge did not listen to the witness of a particular witness. So it has nothing to do with the election. So as far as we are concerned, that is the last point that we can go on the matter. So we have expressed shock at the judgment.
Okay, now let's move on to the situation going on in the House of Representatives, the suspension of Elumelu and 6 other members of the party and everything going on with the factions. What is causing this very worrying divide within the party? Let's take that as a starting point.
First, let me state clearly that there are no factions in the People's Democratic Party. What the party has done is to look into the Constitution, which provides for how the party will be guided. And we have acted in line with the provisions of the Constitution. So we have no faction of any form in the People's Democratic Party.
So
well, I mean, Kola, we need you to educate me, because you just referred to the Constitution. Now, Section 50 of the 1999 Constitution, which is the extant law, says that members of the National Assembly will choose their leaders from among themselves. And that applies, to both the Senate and the House of Representatives. Now, when the APC tried to impose certain persons on the National Assembly as principal officers, the PDP kicked. Many members of the public supported the PDP and said, this talk about party supremacy should not amount to a violation of the Nigerian Constitution. But now, the PDP in the House of Reps, in the choice of the minority leaders of the House of Reps, seems to be doing exactly the same thing and playing exactly the same kind of politics that it opposed when the APC tried it in the appointment or election of principal officers of the National Assembly. How do you explain that? And particularly with the Speaker of the House of Reps saying the way they have acted is in line with the Constitution. The persons that have been chosen, they may not be the choice of the PDP, but they are members of the PDP, and they have been chosen by their own colleagues in line with the Constitution and the rules of the standing rules of the House of Reps.
I think there's so much disinformation in the public arena.
Okay, please educate us.
And we need to clear some using this. Yes, we need to clear some using this platform. First and foremost, it would be wrong for anybody to assume that a party sought to impose officers in the House of Reps. It's absolutely wrong. And I say this because I participated in processes that led to the writing of the letter by the party to the Senate and the House of Representatives. And I can clearly state that it was the members themselves who made nominations at the meeting. It was the same thing that happened in the Senate when nominations were made among senators. And they resolved that Senator Abaribe should be their minority leader. And they also resolved on other issues. We had a hiccup at some point, and this was brought to the attention of the minority leader of the Senate, Senator Abaribe, and this was quickly corrected. And on account of that, the party wrote a letter to the Senate President, Senator Ahmed Lawan, who, as an urbane and educated and liberal politician, read the letter as presented by the party. What did we find in the House of Reps? In the House of Reps, the same system was applied. Members were invited by the party. We sat together. We called for nominations. They nominated Honorable Chinda on their own. And also nominated other people who should fill the other positions. When at some point it was discovered that one member, and I will not want to mention his name, raised the issue.
Kola, maybe you hold your thoughts on this. We take a short break, and then when we come back, you can continue, on this line of thought.
Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. Still with us is the PDP National Publicity Secretary, Kola Ologbondiyan, and we're discussing many issues around the PDP, and he is preferring the solutions and clearing up a lot of things for us. Welcome back to the program, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yes, you were talking about the processes, in the National Assembly, about the choice of leaders, either principal officers or minority leaders.
Yeah. So in the House of Representatives, like I said, members were invited to a meeting with the party. And at the meeting, nominations were called. And members by themselves nominated Honorable Chinda. By themselves. It wasn't an imposition from the party. The party never said, this is the list, or these are the names of the people that we have for you. The nominated members among themselves, those who should hold those minority positions. And at some point, a member said, we need to take this our decision to the minority parties. Another meeting was called with the minority parties. At these two meetings, coordinated by the party, there was no objection of any sort. And having agreed on that, the party, now, in line with the tradition, parliamentary practices and procedures, wrote a letter, just as it did in the Senate, to the House of Representatives. On the first day of sitting, when the letter was supposed to be read, the Speaker of the House, Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, said he was not aware of the letter written by the People's Democratic Party. On Wednesday, the second sitting day, when our members went to him and said, you didn't read that letter yesterday. We hope you will read it today. He said, why should PDP write him a letter? he will never read a letter from the People's Democratic Party. Did they support his election as Speaker? So why should they write a letter to him? That was the account that our members brought back. And he went ahead and sat in his office and wrote the names of people that he desires to make minority leaders. And people are telling us that the PDP must accept this. That is strange. It doesn't matter the level of blackmail that people will go through against the party. But the party will have a set of rules as enshrined in its constitution, as amended in 2017, to guide its activities. And the National Working Committee will continue to work in line with this constitution.
Kola, there have also been reports that there is division within the PDP, causing all of these problems. Although you deny that there are no factions in the PDP. But there was a report last week, I don't know whether you saw it, that the Board of Trustees of the PDP, believes that what has been done in the House of Representatives is the right thing. And one argument that they have put up is that it will be wrong to make Kingsley Chinda the minority leader because he comes from the same place, more or less, with the chairman of the party, Obio Akwa local government area, or, representative, constituency in Rivers State. And that, Kingsley Chinda comes from Delta State. And members of the BOT are saying that the previous holder of that position, Leo Ogo, was from Delta State, or whatever, and that, it's better to zone it to Delta State. Now, the BOT versus the National Working Committee, is this not more about the PDP itself, rather than, Bajabia Mela or whatever politics is going on in the House of Representatives? But you insist that, it is right for the party to suspend, 6 members, Elumelu and 5 others, in line with the rule of the party that talks about loyalty to the party, discipline, and not engaging in any activity that can disrupt the party. Is this fair? Do you really have any evidence that those 6 persons who have been suspended, were part of any plot? And is this proven?
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Abati. It's imperative to state here that the party did not engage in zoning of the offices. If the party did zoning, there was no way that the minority leader of the Senate would have gone to the Southeast and the minority leader of the House would have gone to South-South. It would have been North and South. But because the leadership in the chamber, the leadership of the House, whether in the Senate or in the House of Representatives, is about the capacity to lead your members. It is not about where you come from. And this was primary in the decision of the National Working Committee. Now, moving to the issue of BOT, whether we are clashing with, whether the NWC and the BOT is clashing, there's nothing like that. It's totally a blackmail. And I say this because the moment after there was a claim that the chairman of the Board of Trustees, Senator Walid Jubrin, congratulated Honorable Elumelu, the party took the action to ask the chairman of BOT. And the chairman of BOT did say that he cannot take a decision that will contravene whatever has been taken by the National Working Committee. And I'm aware that this is in public space. And also let me inform you, in the process of the decision of suspension that you mentioned, the BOT chairman was aware. And the party has not done anything that is outside its constitution. However, this is an in-house thing. It's not as if it is a battle between the PDP and the APC. I believe that the party will go indoors and review all these issues. However, it's also important to state here that the People's Democratic Party will not be undermined by anybody, whoever that person is.
That you mentioned that leadership is about capacity. I'd like to take us back to that point for a second, because I believe that when the National Assembly were appointing the Senate President and the Speaker of the House, which is now produced as Lawan Gbajabiamila, one of the greatest arguments that was posed, and majorly from the side of the PDP, was the worry of a Muslim-Muslim ticket. So I find it a bit controversial that now the PDP is speaking about capacity over geopolitics and where a person is from. So I'd like us to clarify that as well, sir. And then, of course, discuss youth movements in the South-South who are looking at Elumelu's suspension as illegal after that. But let's take on the first issue.
Well, I do not agree with you that the People's Democratic Party, and I must emphasize the fact that it's either the national chairman, the national secretary, or the national publicity secretary that speaks for the party. I do not agree that at any fora that the PDP, through any of these officers, spoke about Muslim-Muslim tickets. I don't agree. That could not have been a parameter for us to support or oppose any of the aspirants for that position as they were then. However, I must also emphasize the fact that the PDP, as a political party that is responsible, do not engage in religious issues. But having said that, I do not understand what you said about legality or illegality in respect of the suspension of
what
some
I said
members
is the
of
youth
our party.
movements are claiming it as illegal, but that's just a statement out in the media.
That the decision is illegal.
Asking for your clarification, sir. Youth movements in the South-South are coming out to state that Elumelu's suspension is illegal. I am asking for your clarification and your take on that particular stance, because it's quite a worrying
the
one.
Position of the party, the party acted in line with the Constitution. And as I speak with you at this moment, the decision taken by the party remains the position of the party, and nothing has shifted from the position of the party.
Well, we don't have much time. I hope that you will respond to this in less than a minute, if possible, Kola. And it has to do with Senator Elisha Abo, who has been, in the eye of the storm for assaulting a nursing mother at a sex toy shop in Abuja, and Nigerians are saying, oh, this looks like standard PDP behavior, although, you have condemned the action. But what's your reaction that this is a PDP thing? That's how PDP people behave, quickly, because we need to take a short break.
Well, Doctor, it is not a party thing. It's an individual thing. Senator Abo did not go to act on behalf of the People's Democratic Party. So it is a misplaced stuff, and it is totally cheap blackmail for anybody to say it's a PDP thing. It's an individual thing.
Thank you very much. Kola Ologbondiyan will have to call it, a day here on this particular segment.